Well, that fight was better than a lot of people expected it to be. By the way, look at Barrios' face. I want to get you a clip of his face. He got busted up in there. Let's mute it. I'm TstreeT Controversy with Fight View 360. Look at the crowd there at Tyson, Jake Paul down there in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. We didn't get the official attendance yet, but we do know that they sold nearly $18 million in tickets. And Abel Ramos, brother of Jesus Ramos, put on a way better fight than I thought he did, outside the fact that I believe it was round number 2. There was a knockdown that should have counted but didn't. Looked like Ramos's glove touched the canvas. But in round number 6, it might have been 7, I apologize, Mario Barrios, the WBC champion, got dropped. Now, let me go ahead and say the 147-pound division is not what it used to be. By the way, this is how my Netflix stream has been looking as they've been dealing with mass buffering issues all across the country. At least I know, as far as Americans concerned. Yeah, round number 6 is when he got dropped. But so I noticed that on desktop, the Netflix stream for Tyson Paul has been working flawlessly up until I say about the last half an hour or so. The picture quality has went down significantly, and I can only assume that it's Netflix behind the scenes doing something to try to make sure that the TV streams are working. So nationwide outrage on the quality of the stream and connectivity for Netflix for Tyson versus Paul. Basically, a lot of people are dealing with a lot of buffering, pausing, and everything, and I noticed my quality went down. Oh, it seems to be going back up. But here is who is Wheelock? Am I supposed to know Willocks? Am I supposed to know who that is? Well, anyway, Barrios 114-112. I think Barrios did just enough to win, but let's be honest. As we look at the 147-pound division, by the way, Barrios 29-2, 18 KOs. For a PBC fighter, despite the fact that this is on an MVP Promotions card, he's had 3 fights in 14 months, which is just under 14 months, which is unheard of for PBC fighters these days. As you can see, your Dennis Ugas last September. Right now, of course, is the 15th of November. Fabian Maidana and then Abel Ramos. Look at the judges, but look at my man's face. Let's listen to the cards. It's going to be interesting. Let's listen in. So we're still waiting for them to read the cards, but looking at the 147-pound division, I was at the boots in this fight last week in Philly, and he didn't look good against Karen Chakhazian. Oh, here we are. Listen in.
Full rounds. We go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision. Judge Javier Alvarez sees the contest 114-112 Ramos. Judge Mike Ross sees the contest 116-110 Barrios. And finally, Judge Doug Robinson sees the contest 113-113. Draw. This bout has been ruled a split.
I'm not.
Mario Barrios is still the WBC welterweight champion of the world.
I'm not upset with that.
Yes, we were. We didn't know who won it, and they didn't know either.
I'm not upset with that, but you can say this is a win for Mario Barrios, who is somewhat of a mid-carder. I don't want to call him a journeyman, but for WBC champion, Mario Barrios should not have had these problems with Abel Ramos. Now, Abel Ramos did give your Dennis Ugas, former WBC champion, who Mario Barrios beat for the belt, some problems back in 2020 on a PBC on Fox show. In fact, here is by the way, here is the punch stats. Let's pause this right here for a minute. 279 to 204. And most of that was early for Mario Barrios. 789 thrown for Barrios, 753. 28-6-2, excuse me. Yeah, 28-6-3 he should be now. Last win against Ramon Guzman. By the way, it looks like Barrios was offered a fight with Boots Ennis but turned it down. And as you can see, the resume, He's more of a, by the way, this was considered an upset at the time when he beat Omar Figueroa. And just so happened, Mario Barrios is, I was going to say he's pregnant. He got a baby on the way with the sister, Omaria Figueroa. So, you know, funny how the world turns. Let's listen in.
I know it was a close fight, you know.
Look at his face.
Was gonna come with everything.
The quality came back.
I know I had a hard task in front of me. I was finding success in the early rounds, but he made the adjustments to where he made it a war. After that, you know, I started feeling like I couldn't really find my rhythm how I wanted to. And then, you know, the fight ended up how it did. You know, I hats off to him. I was a hell of a performance, and you know, I hope everybody here in AT&T Stadium was happy with the fight.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was one of the great fights of this past year. He did drop you midway through the fight. How much did that affect you on the back end?
I don't know if it really affected me towards like the back end, but I mean, you know, the fight it stayed close as it did. You know, he's a puncher. He definitely can crack, and you know, he caught me with something that I didn't see. I still don't know what it was, but you know, that's boxing.
Was he tougher than you thought he would be?
No, he was just as tough, you know, as I thought. I was saying in all the interviews, you know, I prepared myself for a hard 12 rounds, and you know, that's exactly what I got today.
Well, let's bring in Abel here as well. What an unbelievable fight between these two Mexican warriors.
Good fight.
Abel,
as you can see, good fan reaction to the fight.
It ends in a draw.
Not at all, man. It was a great fight for the fans, like we said, like we promised. There was no need to trash talk each other, no need, man. When you get two Mexican warriors like us, you're gonna get action-packed and guaranteed.
Mario mentioned the adjustments that you made midway through the fight. Can you tell us about those adjustments? What did you see that you were able to implement?
Oh no, man. I just knew I had to warm up. You know, I had trouble with my shoulders in the camp, so I had to warm up a little. But man, he came out strong. You could tell he's strong.
Mario, we talked yesterday about some of your big plans for 2025, but considering this result, do you need to run it back?
We're going to talk about the 147-pound division.
I'll sit down with my team. You know, we'll decide what's next. If it got ran back, I know it would be another hell of a fight. But yeah, you know, I'm gonna take some time off and spend some time with my daughter, and then you know, sit down with my team, and then we'll see what's next.
All right, well, thank you very much. And again, congratulations on an incredible fight. AT&T Stadium, make some noise for Mario Barrios and Abel Ramos.
All right, let's mute that. What we're waiting for is the final, the numbers for attendance. But from what it's looking like, that place is like 70%, 80% sold out, like right now. And I'm going to say go with 80%. Star-studded, of course, is Netflix. Production quality has been great. Outside the fact that people have been having issues with buffering when they're watching on TV. Desktop, which is where I do my videos, I'm watching flawless. But then when I was upstairs cooking, watching on TV, I was noticing the clipping. On the live stream, there were two prelim streams on YouTube. It was the Netflix stream, and it was the MVP promotion stream, and they topped off at about 900,000 live viewers across both of them. Huge fight, despite what you think about the Mike Tyson being 58 years old and all. But let's go talk about the 147-pound division. WBC champion Mario Barrios. Terrence Crawford, the champion in recess, but he is not going back down to 147. That is cooked. Amanis Stanionis is the WBA champion. He's supposed to be fighting Shakram Gayasov on a PBC card sometime. Don't be surprised if you see this fight, Stanionis versus Gayasov on the undercard of Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach in the very end of February, but it's looking like March since David Benavidez and David Morrell has been announced for February in the T-Mobile Arena. Boots Ennis didn't look good last week. I was at that fight against Karen Chukhazian. I just call him Karen Chuck. And you got Brian Norman Jr. I forgot who Brian Norman Jr. is supposed to be. He was supposed to be fighting this guy, Derek Chavez. But is that fight been re-announced again? Let's see here. And I'm going to give you my top 147-pounders as well. Let me see. He had an injury. Yeah, it was supposed to be last week. So we don't know. It's been postponed. So he's still fighting Chavez, but we don't know when that's going to be. So right now, to be very honest, let's see how. Okay, so Mario Barrios didn't look good. Boom. Boots didn't look good. Boom. All we know about Brian Norman is he beat Giovanni Santillan, who's returning soon. Boom. You got Amanda Stanionis. We're waiting to see how he looks. But right now, I still would pick, I would still say Boots is number 1 at 147. And me, as I've gotten older, even though Boots looked let me tell you something, he looked real beatable last week. I give fighters more credit than I did years ago, where I would be like, he got exposed, he's not that good. And no, it's not because I'm from Philly that I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, because I'm going to say right now, Terrence Crawford would beat him up. Just like he need to just leave that alone from what we seen last week. But the wild card right now is Amanda Stanionis. That's the guy right now. Now, with the likes of Teofimo Lopez, current WBO champion, wanting to move up and fight Brian Norman, with the rumors of Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez fighting, Teofimo Lopez having issues with Top Rank, do not be surprised if the Saudis sort that out. By the way, this is Jake Paul's promoter. He looks really good with knives, don't he? 147... this is it. Because when you look at the guys that may move up from 140 to 147, who are you really seeing that can be the guy that beats all of these guys? Hell, even though Tank Davis is small, I would give him a chance at 147. It depends. I don't see Tank ever being able to compete at 147. I'm just saying that maybe a one-all fight, because he already beat Barrios. He probably would have beat the Barrios tonight. But let's not forget, Tank did have to chase Barrios down in the end to be able to stop him in that fight. That was for the WBA champion. Remember, Barrios is a 2-division champion. When was that fight again? That was 2022? 2021. Then he went on to lose to Keith Thurman, Giovanni Santiago. That's the guy that a lot of people thought should have beat Broner before Blair Cobbs did. Your Dennis Ugas, Fabian Mindana, and Abel Ramos. Now, Fabian Mindana and Abel Ramos, they're good, solid fighters, but they're not championship fighters. And to think that Abel Ramos could have been a world champion tonight is pretty crazy. With that being said, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I'm TstreeT Controversy with 5U360. I have been busy. And let me show you what I've been working on. My website is coming back. And this is what I've been doing behind the scenes. Podcasts, everything's coming back. Everything's coming back. So, you got to give me some time to finish building all of this and putting it all together. Rebranding, if it makes sense. So that's what I've been doing. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to TstreeT Controversy with 5U360. Oh, and also, you can follow me over on Twitter at TstreeT Controversy. Links are down below in the description box. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.